What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for this week's episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Golden Wind. Yo. This episode, man, was fucking amazing, man. I loved it. Giordano, man, can we get some F's in the comments section for my man Giordano? Man, that backstory was fucking depressing. Man, like, oh my god, like, man, that was maybe something. That OP, yeah. I mean, I've already listened to the OP 1,000 times already. Like once it first came out, I was listening to it all over the time. Listen to the full song. I love fighting gold. Shibuko and Tatino. I can't remember the lyrics. Yo, fighting gold. Yeah, I love that song. The ED, yo, that was actually pretty good too. I wouldn't say it's as good as that Savage Garden song that was the OP for the ED, I should say, for Diamond is Unbreakable. But this song was pretty good. We had some R&B up in here. I know, Rocky. I'm down for some R&B, fam. If you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys saw I was tweeting a little bit of the episode while I was watching it. Which, man, I wish JoJo, like, and weird thing is, because, you know, today it started Daylight Saves. I was watching Toonami, and then I looked at the schedule to make sure I got everything recorded that I need to get recorded. And then I look over, and then I was looking through the episodes. I was looking through to make sure I got everything. And then I noticed that it said 1:30 was JoJo, and I was like, oh shit! So they moved the time back up. But then I went back, and Demon Slayer was also under 1:30. So I'm like, what the fuck? Keep on. I didn't know it was daylight savings right now. So I go to bed, and then I look at my phone, and it also says like 1:30. I'm like, what the hell? Or 1 o'clock. And I'm like, what the hell is this shit? I looked at my alarm clock, and it said 2, and that's what hit me. And then I was low-key tempted. I was low-key tempted to get out of my bed, get back in here, and just watch JoJo. But I was like, you know, it's technically 2 in the fucking morning right now. Let me get some sleep. So, waited on JoJo, and I waited and woke up and I watched it first thing in the morning. But speaking of mornings, Toonami just announced that they also showed the trailer for Hiroaka Part 4. This is going to be Hiroaka Season 4, not Part 4. This ain't JoJo. Hiroaka Season 4 is going to be airing next week, so I'm hyped for that. I'm looking forward to rewatching that on Toonami. Also, let me quickly talk about the English, some of the other series that have been airing right now that I haven't talked about. Let me give you guys my update thoughts on One Punch Man real quick. One Punch Man, I've been loving it. The comedy is great. Yeah, the art animation isn't as good, but the art animation has been really solid, like a lot better than I expected. JC staff has definitely tried to do the best they could, and I say they came out relatively well. Like the action is pretty good. It's pretty well animated for what you expect from JC staff, and I've been just loving the show, man. It's been great stuff. Definitely been really different. As far as Demon Slayer goes, fucking epic, man. I love me some Demon Slayer. I still need to finish up the series subs, but I've been loving the dub so far. I love the English cast. And yeah, man, I've been enjoying rewatching Demon Slayer, especially those earlier episodes, man. That was some good stuff. So yeah, now let's get right into JoJo. So he starts the episode off with a picture of Giorno Giovanni. And the narrator, I gotta say, yo, I forget that JoJo's known, the narrator for JoJo's name in the dub. I forget, my god, that dude is like the greatest anime dub narrator ever. I absolutely love the guy. Like, his voice is just so good for the series. Like, I hope this dude does. I don't know what other animes he does. I don't know what other animes he's done. I'm pretty sure I'm following on Twitter. I have to look at the credits to find out what his name was again, because I absolutely love this man's work. Anyway, so the dude explains, we get a little bit of history lesson of what happened in Giorno's past. He explains that Giorno is, of course, the son of Dio Brando. So yes, he is the son of Colonel Dioda. And yeah, so that was pretty. I've known that for like a while now. But hey, yeah, I can imagine some people are probably shocked when they found it out that he was the son of Dio, I guess. Which makes me even kind of curious why he is the protagonist of this part, because remember, JoJo was all about bloodlines, and more specifically the Joestar bloodline. Now, granted, technically, Dio's body, at least in Part 3 and beyond, is technically Jonathan's, which is probably why he sounds like him, and why Giorno sounds like him too. That's probably the reason why, because I was always like, wait, what? Because I thought he might have, like, or I thought that maybe Giorno's mom was somehow related to the Joestar family. It doesn't seem like she is, and Giorno's only in the MC because of that he is indeed the son of Dio. And in Part 6 is the son of Jotaro. Or the daughter of Jotaro, with Jolene. So I'm hyped to see her, because you guys know how much I love Jotaro. Anyway, so yeah. So he says that, and now this is when and so he mentions that you know, after Giorno, after he was born, you know, and he also mentioned how Dio only viewed women as like objects for subsistence, and you know, he was like, but he let his lover live, so that she can give birth to Giorno. After Giorno was born, they moved her to Japan, but now And she said, like, she was like the pinnacle of beauty and all that other stuff. Typical stuff we've heard a lot from JoJo when it comes to some of their female characters. Like, I hear that. That's always been thrown around a lot. JoJo, I've known, where they say that this woman is the pinnacle of beauty or something. It's always on the walls like that's been like a constant theme throughout some of the parts. Anyway, but he says that motherhood was a bit of trouble. For her since they moved to Japan. She was a single mother, and she does all now. Now, what she did here is kind of fucked up, I won't lie. Now because she ended up a lot of the time would just leave Giordano by himself when he was very, very young, like 2 years old. Very, very young, 2 years old and such. Leave him home alone while she goes out there and, as the narrator says, live a life of glamour and bacchanalian revelry. Which I had to look up what the hell bacchanalian revelry meant. I was like, what the fuck is this? Is this some Italian that the man is talking? Which I should check. The Italian is not in the Japanese at all, because I download all the episodes for JoJo, both subbed and dubbed, just in case the Adult Swim logo gets in the way of any of the shots and leaves for the thumbnails. I usually look at the subs to make sure see if it works better with that one. But anyway, and I was like, what the hell does that mean? I looked it up, and it pretty much means to get drunk. Pretty much bacchanalian means, just to get drunk, what a lot of people do, women do during the nightlife, get drunk, party hard, all that shit, And that's what she did. And she mentions here, while she's putting on some of her lipstick, one of her friends even mentioned, like, hey, should you really leave him alone? Isn't he like 2? And she's like, oh, he's going to be fine. Plus, I'm not going to let some kid take away my independence, or my freedom, excuse me. No way. My freedom, that's that. Now, I agree with that statement, because I do believe that mothers, whether single or otherwise, should not have their whole lives dedicated to raise their children. They should be allowed to go hit the clubs every once in a while, and hang out with their girlfriends and just get drunk or hit the clubs or whatever. Have fun. Obviously always think about your child, but I definitely say mothers, especially mothers, should be allowed to enjoy themselves every once in a while. Forget about the kid and just have fun. This, on the other hand, is a little bit crossing the line because, first off, there's no babysitter at home. Giordano is 2, and we then see Giordano, and the kid is fucking petrified. Like, he's trembling, and the house isn't really the cleanest. I mean, I wouldn't go and call it a pigsty or anything. It wasn't, like, that dirty. I would definitely say it's better than Kayako's house from Erased. Oh, Lord, oh my God, and oh my God, when Kayako had, like, her first home-cooked meal, or, like, first, like, hot home-cooked meal, that scene when she's crying, oh my God, that damn near brought me to tears, man. Erased is such a fucking amazing, but not me talking about Erased. The kid's pet, now, it was still kind of dirty, kind of a bit dingy, definitely looked like it could use some cleaning, but it wasn't like, like, there's trash everywhere, like, how can you live like this kind of thing. So, yeah, I could agree with her to that extent. I do think mothers should be allowed to, have some fun once with this. I say this is probably crossed the line a little bit if you ask me. Anyway, so, as she also said later on, once Giordano was about 4 years old, she ended up marrying an Italian man until he became an Italian citizen. And the way the dude comes up, you see Giordano, like, you see Giordano's mom and his stepfather, they're just chilling, they got their suits or wedding, they're taking some photos. And the photographer is like, hey, if you don't mind, and he points to Giordano like, shouldn't he be in here too? And the dude comes in there, he's like super nice. He's like, hey, come on, Giordano. He said something else. I think he threw some Italian. So started throwing some Italian. I think he meant like something like for like boy or son or whatever it was. I don't know. I'm just guessing because like they didn't give you translation and it's Italian shit. Anyway. So, he's like, come on, let's go take the photos, and, mommy's waiting for you. He comes out and he smiles at Giordano when he looks up. And, and you're like, oh, yes, Giordano, he has a good life, man. He's going to have a good life from here, He didn't have the bus upbringing, but, hey, it's going to be good here. And then the man gets abused by his father. This man got on his wife beater. Like, I swear Rocky was just having fun at this point. Man got on a wife beater, although because it's a Rocky, it's a crop top, not a full wife beater, because of course it is. And you gotta show some stomach when it's JoJo. You always gotta have your stomach exposed, apparently, in JoJo. And the dude guy, of course, got like a cross necklace, because of course he does. He's Italian, got a golden watch, and he got a belt wrapped around his hand, and it's just hitting Giordano. Now he's not like legit like punching the kid, but he's kind of like whipping at him with the belt. you know. And Giorno's like, trying to block him and everything. It's so sad to see Giorno like this. And we see another time where he's just sitting there, all still wearing his wife beater. He's like counting up this money he has there. Giorno kind of leaves from like this little corner. He's like, "What the hell you want, kid?" And he's like, "Oh, the Brit," and tosses out here and tosses him and says that he's a depressing little shit. That like, Giorno, man, can we get some F's in the comments for Giorno, please? Can we get some F's in the comments? So after that. And the narrator mentions how Giordano, because of that, the man became an easy target for bullies. So then we see him get tripped over by some kids, which he falls face first into a puddle of water. Man, this shit is sad. Anyway, so Giordano gets down there. So Giordano gets up. The cop that saw the things like, hey, tells the punks to fuck off. And he's like, yeah, whatever. He tells them, like, go back to your country, you Japanese freak. That's probably borderline racist. Anyway, and then he's like, "Dude, doesn't he fight back? What a weirdo." And so then the narrator mentions how one day changed Giorno's life forever. And we see the floor; it starts getting covered with blood. So Giorno's walking, I'm assuming walking home from school because he's wearing his backpack. He's walking, and then he sees this guy, this guy in the bushes, bleeding a bit, and he's just, he's down now. Like, the man, you can tell he's been through some shit. So then these other mobsters come over, these other mafia guys come over there, and they're like, "Hey kid, where have you seen a very tall guy with black hair, running around anywhere?" And he said, and he points them in the opposite direction where he is, because the narrator mentions that Giorno, when he saw the man, all he saw was another friendless loner like he was. And this was actually the first time we see Giorno use golden experience golden experience or golden win. I don't know, golden win from the dub terminology, but the stand's actual name is golden experience. I don't know if I'm gonna stick to golden experience, golden win. Language for guys, I'm probably gonna be flipping through those two. So anyway, with golden win. That was the first time he used gold wind to make sure like some weeds came out, because one guy kind of looked at that direction anyway, and he had some weeds brought out to conceal him even more, so he couldn't see him. And they mentioned that was the first time he ever used it, and he just did it from pure instinct. Now the weird thing is, there was never any mention if he ever broke out into like that huge like a sickness. The same. Now granted, I might be a little bit wrong on this one, but remember when Josuke got his stand for the first time? Remember he was like super sick. Now, if I remember correctly, if the dates were matching up, that all happened with Josuke and him getting sick when he started manifesting Shining Diamond was around the same time as Part 3 was happening, if I remember correctly. So while Jotaro's mom was suffering, so was Josuke. I'm assuming that's because of Dio, So because at first I was like, wait, why is there no mention if he got sick or anything when he first awakened Gold Spirit? But then I realized, he's the son of Dio, and of course this is happening long after the events, I'm assuming anyway, of Part 3 and Part 4. So anyway. So then afterward, it starts raining. He goes over to the kid, Giorno's minding his own business. He's walking, and then the mafia guy comes over him, sees him, and comes to him and says, "You saved my life. I won't forget that." And so then the mafia guys ends up, I guess, pulling his, starts, pushing his weight around, and he makes Giorno's life a lot better. Like his stepdad stops beating him. He's like got the belt and everything. He's about to start beating him again, and he's like, "Damn it! Why does he like this kid so? Why does he like this kid so much?" So he leaves that. The bullies end up stop pestering him, and they actually they go to the movie theater, and they're like, "Hey Giorno, come on, sit with us, man." They're like, "Yeah, I know this isn't the best seat ever, but come on, sit here." And we see the mafia guy at the entrance of the theater, kind of looking on before he walks out. Another time we see him getting ice cream. Giorno getting ice cream. Now pay attention to the flavors they were. They were cioccolato and pistachio. Now I believe cioccolato is just Italian for chocolate. I'm assuming anyway because it looks like chocolate and it sounds like chocolate. So I'm assuming that's just chocolate in Italian. Now those are the two flavors that Giorno got in the first episode last week, and he also gave that same flavor to that kid. Cioccolato and pistachio. I thought that was a nice little cool thing that you could notice about that flavor. Those two are very important to Giorno, and he was kind of doing the same thing to that other kid he saw in the first episode. I thought that was a nice little, I guess, callback you could call it. I don't know. I thought that was a nice little thing that was in there that you could notice. So yeah, that was nice. That's a nice little thing. So and then and Giordano is just shocked. He's like looking at this all like, oh wow, 2 scoops, you know. And he's like, hey man, I think he gave you too much. He's like, nah man, no man, the chocolato's my treat. I owe a lot to that guy. He takes his hat off and points to the mobster, and puts it back on. So then we see, of course, because the dude's a mobster, he got to get his hands dirty, and that's what we see next. We see Giordano. He's walking the hallway, and then we hear a gunshot, and then we see him taking off a glove. So we can assume that he probably just killed the guy. So Giordano, so then the dude walks over. So Giordano walks over to him, and he's like, "Hey, excuse me." And the dude just walks past him. The narrator mentions it, and I like that this was mentioned. He ignored him like he wasn't there because he was determined to keep Giordano away from the mafia life, away from the bloodshed and getting your hands dirty, like wherever it happens with the mafia, which is very true. And I've noticed it's like a very common theme with mafia movies and mafia stuff in general. Like you always have like this mafia guy, always most of the time, always try to keep, whether it's their family members, their son, their daughter, or just some kid that saved their life, or just some kid they know, away from the mafia life. I've noticed it's like a pretty common theme with like mafia movies and such. So anyway, after that, then this other kid comes in, he bumps right, he pushes Giordano out of the way, and he's holding a gun. He's holding a pistol. I'm pretty sure it's like a 1911. It looks like a 1911. Or maybe it was a Glock. I don't know. I'm not a gun expert. But he's like, "You bastard! You killed my father!" And then he says, and the dude turns around and he says, "Your dad was trash. He was a drug dealer. He knew the rules and he still broke. He was a drug dealer. Even women and children bought from him." Which I gotta say, drug dealers are drug dealers. But drug dealers that sell kids, I mean, those are scum of the earth if you ask me. I'm sure that's something we can all agree on. Like, drug dealers that sell the kids, man, that's some fucked up shit, man. That's some fucked up shit. And so he took out the trash. He killed him. And he's like, "You bastard, I'll kill you!" And the kid has tears in his eyes, and he starts shooting the gun. But nothing happens. Now he does. Now it's not like the gun is empty. It legit. Nothing's happening. Like the barrel, like the trigger isn't really getting pushed down at all. The barrel is moving. Now I believe because of safety. Now I'm pretty sure this is happening because the safety was on, and the kid just didn't know. And he's like, "What the hell? Why isn't the gun shooting?" Now I actually saw this clip before. From one of the ads that Crunchyroll airs during the commercial breaks at the end, because you guys know I don't have Crunchyroll Premium, so of course I get the ads. And I've often seen this clip right here of the kid almost shooting this other guy a lot of times for Golden Wind. So yeah, it's a nice little fun fact we throwing out there. Anyway, and wow, this video is 17 minutes. I'm still only talking about like the first 9 minutes. So anyway, after that. We get like a little bit. So after that, the kid starts crying and everything, falls down to his knees. And from there, Giordano knew he was going to become a mafia guy, and I forget the exact terminology. Well, he was pretty much, it sounds like he was going to be like the Hokage of the mafia, like the big boss guy, like the Godfather top level for the mafia, man. And then after that, we have her back to with Bruno and Giordano on the train. Which one last thing before we get back to Giordano on the train. Right before we head right back in there, we see Giordano hit Striker like trademark. Which this is like his trademark pose, where he like pulls back on his jacket a little bit. Which I would like when I have my jacket on. I sometimes do that for the lulz. So. Back to the train, we see pretty much like the last minute from the last episode. Giordano getting punched around. He said we have already gone to torture. Yada 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 yada. So once we actually get to the new stuff, Bruno is about to attack Giordano again, and Giordano's like okay, I know Golden Wind can pretty much turn anything I hit into a living organism. We see this with various other things: dollar bills, suitcases, floor. It can turn into a living organism. But he's like, what will happen if I do it to a person? Well, we're about to find out. He punches Giordano. Golden Wind blocks Bruno's stand, blocks the attack. He's like, you're a stand user. That's it. It's all making sense now. You were the one that dishonored Luca. And he goes for a punch. Giordano counters it, or with Golden Wind. Golden Wind counters it and lands a punch of his own on Bruno. Bruno's sent back a bit. Giordano's like, okay, all right, we should be good now. And then Bruno starts to get up a little bit. He's like, what? Some of his bones should be broken at least from that hit. And then Bruno's like, bastardo, which is Italian for bastard. If you guys didn't know that. That's like one that I remember vividly from Assassin's Creed is bastardo. I remember that one vividly, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, he gets up. He holds on to this little pipe thing, but then it starts to bend. He's like, what the hell? He's like, "You're done, you bastardo." Or maybe I think he said "katsu," which is Italian for fuck. Right when he was about to jump, where he was about to get up, then he said "bastardo" when he was about to jump over to Giordano. So he goes over there, but then he starts kind of like floating a little bit. He's like, "The fuck? Why am I floating?" I couldn't stand a second ago, yet here I am floating. And then he thinks that he has like some insane power, like he's got supercharged, He can feel the power go inside him. He's like, "Oh wow, your stand ability can power up your enemies? Huh, that's a foolish power." And I'm like, is that actually his power? I mean, that'd be interesting if that wasn't indeed the case, but no, that is not the case. Instead, he starts hopping around a little bit. Then he looks behind, and he's about to punch Giorno, but he phases right through him. His fist goes through him. He's like, "What the hell?" So then he looks behind him, and then he sees his body just sitting there while Golden Experience or Golden Wind, I don't know what to call it. I'm gonna be such a lot guy. And then Golden Wind comes in there. And Golden Wind goes over there to punch Bruno. Bruno tries to go over back to his body to get the hit, but then Golden Wind hits his face, and the detail their production's put in here is insane. So he like fits in there, and like one of his teeth gets flown out, and then he just gets punched, and it said flying back. And then Giordano does another one of his trademark JoJo pose, which I saw this image all over the place when Part 5 started airing like last year. I saw this all over the place last year, guys. So then we see this innocent bystander be like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? I'm about to call the police. And then Joe reassures like, "Don't worry, man. This won't require a normal citizens. You have nothing to worry about." So then Bruno gets up and he's like, "Okay." So then he calls upon his stad, Zipperman! Yes, that is Bruno's stat in the dub. Zipperman! I actually went back and looked up what the hell Bruno's stand actually is, because I was like, no, what is his real name? Because Zipperman, like it makes sense given what the stand's name is, but I'm like, surely the real name probably sounds a little bit better than this. And the real stand's name is Sticky Fingers. I think I actually kind of prefer Zipperman. Low key, I think I prefer Zipperman over Sticky Fingers. I don't even know what band that's referencing. Maybe it's probably a song or something, knowing Iraqi. But yeah, I was just like, Zipperman? That's because I looked over comments where people that were in the comments of videos that were showing off trailers of the dub or clips of the English dub for Part 5, at least for this episode, and everyone was saying Zipperman. I can't wait to see Zipperman. So yeah, his name's Zipperman, and I'm gonna keep calling him Zipperman because I actually kind of prefer that over Sticky Fingers. So Zipperman. Zipperman tries to land a couple of attacks on Giorno, but eventually comes to a bit of a stalemate, and Bruno decides to retreat. Giorno tries to get chased, but then we see that Bruno put a fucking zipper embedded it into the train itself, and then leaves out. He says, "I will find you when you least expect it," before he disappears before he gets out of the train. So then Giorno's like, "Look, I can't do this. I can't. If he escapes, I'll probably have to look over my shoulder for the rest of my life. So I need to get him now." So he uses Golden Wind to punch the window, and he jumps right out of it, and then he gives chase to Bruno. Bruno and Giorno meet at like this little alleyway, and there's a bunch of people coming in. Bruno just kind of falls backwards into a crowd of people, and then the man vanishes. Giorno starts looking around, trying to find out where the hell he is, but he can't find it. So then we see a fly kind of land on this guy's shoulder. He's like, buzz off. He tries to get away with the fly, but it won't leave, and he's just like, fuck off, and he slaps it. But then the slab returns back to him, and then the zipper on his back opens, revealing Bruno. So that was and then Giorno mentions that he used Golden Wind's ability to turn Bruno's broken tooth into a housefly to find him. So that's how he found him via his disguise. So for them, they begin their fighting once again. Giorno manages to land a hit on Bruno. Well, Bruno ends up not, but Bruno does his mind is going to hyperdrive, and he counters it and lands a couple of attacks of his own, and Giorno is left having zippers all over him. And Giorno's like, Bruno's like, "Oh, you're probably thinking, what? I hit him first. How is he still there?" And then he shows up that the arm he hit wasn't his own. It was from the other guy, the guy that he was kind of like inside for a bit, and switches him. So after that, they face off a little bit more. Giordano manages to land a hit on him, sending his mind to hyperdrive, and Bruno's like, no, please, stop, as Giordano's moving closer and closer and closer to him, to, of course, take him out, as Oraiso's thought. But he just walks past him, and the zippers disappear. So Bruno's like, why didn't you do it? He says, because you have a good heart, you have a good soul. He points out other things, like he was shocked when he found that the arm that he took was an arm of a drug dealer, or a drug addict. And we see, like, his arm is like completely red, like red where you would usually see addicts, shoot up. It's completely red, like the veins are dead and everything. And then he's like, I wonder how old he is. And he said, and you see the kid's license or ID or whatever. He says, just 13. And if you saw the kid's arm, man, if you watched it, you most likely also watched the episode, whether it was dub or sub. You were probably shocked when you saw his arm, and then you found out the kid was like 13, like. 13 years old and the kid's already addicted to drugs. I'm assuming that what he's using is heroin. Man, that's some fucked up shit, man. That's some fucked up shit. Anyway, so yeah. And then he says, you have a chivalrous heart, and he's just overall saying that Bruno is actually a good soul, but because he's a member of the mafia, he's split down the middle. And then Giordano just says, I will become Hokage! I will become a primo mafioso, which I'm assuming mafioso just means a member of the mafia in Italian. And he's like, I will become primo mafioso, I will be the Hokage and everything. I'm just assuming that's what he means when he says primo mafioso. That translates to Hokage of the mafia. So, yeah, and that's pretty much the episode ends, where he tells that he's going to join him on his team to, take down Bruno's boss and become the primo mafioso and take back the city for the people and get rid of all the women beating and child drug dealing mafioso. So, yeah, that's where the episode ends, guys. Overall, fantastic episode again. Giordano's backstory was quite impressive, honestly, man. And, the Mafia, man, like, they're interesting. They're very interesting, man. They're very interesting. So, yeah, overall, I give this episode a 10 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. Also, one other thing, there's one problem I do have with the dub of JoJo, Part 5, is that I hate the time slot it has, man. 2:30, man, that's far too late for me, man. I wish it had its 1:30 slot back. But I think they might get it back once Demon Slayer's finished, or when One Punch Man's finished. Hopefully when one of the series they have, like in the earlier slots, ends, that means JoJo will get moved back, will get pushed back up, and Boruto will be back on air. Because that 1:30 slot was perfect for JoJo. But anyway. And it was nice also hearing Cazzo, fuck, in Italian this episode, man. That was nice to hear as well from Giorno. So, yeah. Hope y'all enjoyed the video, and overall I give this episode a 10 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. So hope y'all enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me, subscribe, Twitter, like, and links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.
She's